What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. JJ Shankles, the Goat Toasters, here with another episode of your daily tech news. And let's get right into it. The first story today comes from ZCam. It's a company trying to break into the reasonably priced cinema camera range, similar to the Blackmagic cameras. This company's first camera, the E1, was kind of a action camera, sort of a GoPro, but with a micro 4/3 mount, so you could put different lenses on it. And now with their E2 lineup, it's a bunch of cinema cameras, all the way from under $1,000 for a micro 4/3 all the way up to a full frame 8K camera for about $6,000. But they made a new announcement for the ZCam E2-M4. This camera will feature a 4/3 inch sensor and will be able to shoot 4K DCI all the way up to 160 frames per second. Also including things like ProRes RAW support all the way up to 12-bit color, and 13 to 15 stops of dynamic range, all the way up to 16 if you do their sort of HDR video. This camera will feature all these specs and come in with a price of $1,500. Definitely a very competitive thing. Hopefully this will drive competition between them and Blackmagic, because the Blackmagic cinema cameras are also amazing cameras in similar price ranges. But competition drives the prices down and helps you and me, the consumer. They also announced price drops for their S6 and F6. The F6 uses a full frame sensor to get 6K footage, and the S6 is a 6K cropped sensor. And that's a full $500 off of each of those cameras. On to more camera news. Fujifilm releases an app that allows you to use any of their mirrorless cameras as a webcam. This is definitely the easiest way when a company releases the full software, allowing you to hook it up through a USB-C cable. On some cameras like my Nikon Z6, hooking it up as a webcam, it takes a lot of other third-party softwares and getting it all in sync and working together. Sometimes it could be fairly difficult for different cameras. And so when the manufacturer of Fuji releases their own proprietary software, it's going to make the whole system really seamless and really easy to set up. I used to shoot on Fuji, but now I'm on Nikon, so this doesn't really help me. But if you have a Fuji camera out there, this is big news if you use it for a webcam, maybe for your meetings. And on to some broader tech news. Mandalorian Season 2 has been officially confirmed that it's coming out October of 2020. So we don't have to wait all that much longer to see what happens in Mandalorian. Would highly recommend this show if anyone hasn't gotten into it, if you're a big Star Wars fan. There's also been little leaks here and there. We now know that Ahsoka Tano will be showing up in this one, and the actor has been announced for that. Also, Boba Fett will have an appearance in this season. Very exciting to see, and this is one I'm really looking forward to. October 2020, set your calendars. News in the electric car space. Tesla has cut the prices on some of their electric vehicles. The Model X and Model Y have dropped $5,000 in the US, and the Model 3 has only dropped $2,000. Because of the state of 2020, a lot of car manufacturers are hurting for sales, and so they decided to put this sale out to sort of cut the prices, hopefully to increase sales. So if you're looking to buy a Tesla, this might be a good time to get it. But this is only effective in the US, and they are doing some prices in China. They said about a 4% price cut on the Model X and Model Y in China. The Model 3 will not be having a price cut over there. More electric vehicle news. The company Rivian, the one that's backed by Amazon to create electric vehicles, they're creating electric SUVs and trucks, and they have reopened their factory, getting back to work developing these vehicles. Again, like I mentioned with cameras earlier in this episode, it seems like competition is the key for benefiting the consumer. If there's competition in the electric vehicle space, the benefits all roll down to the consumer. We get lower prices, we get better vehicles for the same price. Electric vehicles are definitely the future of vehicles, and so it's really exciting to see. Even though I'm not in the market for an electric SUV or truck right now, it's exciting to watch where these companies go and where the electric vehicle technologies take us. Because if a company like Rivian could create an electric fleet for large industries, that's definitely where a large amount of money in car manufacturing can go and really bolster the electric vehicle market. A little bit of Bitcoin news. The trading platform Coinbase has bought the other platform Tagomi. Tagomi is more focused at professional traders, giving much more analytics and details to the user, whereas Coinbase is more of a casual site, very simplified user interface and easy to use for anyone looking to get into the cryptocurrency space. I know I bought my first coins on Coinbase, but the site isn't very detailed in analytics, so hopefully with the acquisition of Tagomi, maybe now they'll be rolling out more detailed analytics on their site. On to some hardware news in the VR space. HTC has had some announcements on their Mova VR headset. This headset will be a standalone headset. It won't be connected to a computer like some of the more advanced ones, and it will have hand tracking right out of the box, so you'll be able to use your hands as controllers without having any sort of special gloves or controllers pressing buttons. You'll just be able to use your hands in-game to control certain aspects of the game. As I mentioned on this show before, hand tracking is the future of VR, and crazy the technology they're able to put into a freestanding headset using your hands. These headsets are not going to be as powerful as ones connected to a computer, but it's really cool how they keep closing the gap, getting better and better. This will be quite an expensive one. It's coming in at $600 for this headset, but this will be very useful for traveling VR or taking this wherever you want to go, and you can just enjoy VR wherever you are. On to some video game news. BlizzCon 2020 has been canceled. At least the physical event is. It hasn't been confirmed whether they will do a virtual event to replace that, but for now, just BlizzCon 2020 is canceled. Blizzard, the video game creator of World of Warcraft and Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone, a bunch of different video games, their annual convention has now been canceled. The state of 2020, most conventions are getting canceled or turning into virtual conventions. If they're able to get it organized, this will definitely be a virtual convention this year. Onto the mobile space, there's been a new software released that can jailbreak any iPhone. Previously, to jailbreak an iPhone, it required, usually software had to be out for a bit for the developers of jailbreaking software to be able to really dig in there and figure out how to do it. But they've announced this new software will jailbreak all the way up to 13.5, which is the newest software that only a few phones have even released, which only a few iPhones have even started updating to. So if you're looking to jailbreak your iPhone, it might be easier than ever now. And more Apple news, they've placed an order from LG for 20 million OLED iPhone screens by the end of this year. Previously, Apple has bought their OLEDs exclusively from Samsung and only bought other LCD screens from LG. So maybe this will be a switch to make all their phones OLED, or maybe they're just splitting up the manufacturing to maybe cut costs. If they can split the expenses between two different manufacturers, it allows them to diversify in the market. And some confusing news from Google, they've stopped selling their Google Home. So now on their website, they only have the Google Home Mini and the Google Home with a screen on it. So very interesting switch. They haven't announced what they're going to replace this one with, but it seems like their Google Home lineup has a hole in the middle, and it hasn't been announced what they're gonna fill it with. But that about wraps up the news for today. If anything I said was infactual or I missed a story that you want me to cover, comment it down below and I will make sure to get to it tomorrow. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay safe out there, wash your hands a lot, and I appreciate every single one of you for sticking around. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Go Toaster out.